This is a production of Florida State University.
Coming up on FSU Headlines, Florida State University celebrates a huge jump in the national rankings. The families of veterans get hands-on training to help them become successful entrepreneurs. And the Marching Chiefs get an honor unlike any other. FSU Headlines starts now. Hello and welcome to another edition of FSU Headlines. We're broadcasting from the beautiful campus of Florida State University. I'm Dennis Schnitker. It's a great time to be a part of Florida State University as the university continues its meteoric rise up the national rankings. FSU is now one of the top 20 public universities according to U.S. News and World Report's annual college rankings. FSU is ranked number 18, and that's a jump of 25 spots over the last 5 years alone. The university climbed up 8 spots in just 1 year to reach number 18 this year, marking the greatest single-year improvement in school history. We were all excited to see the hard work of faculty, staff, and students recognized in this ranking. FSU President John Thrasher and Provost Sally McRory say it's great to reach this mark, but what it says about FSU is even more important.
We were informed by U.S. News and World Report that we're now the 18th best public university in America. That's an amazing rise. That's 8 spots over where we were last year. We were 26th, and certainly over the last 5 years, it's probably about a 25 slot increase and improvement. It's an amazing accomplishment for this university that all the credit goes to so many people, our faculty, our staff, certainly our great students that have come in over the last 5 years. I couldn't be prouder for the university, and what it really means is it's a reflection of how good this university really is. It's good for the people who've been here before, who will have their degrees and know that they attended a top 20 university in America. And for the students who are here now and will come here, it's a very, very, very positive thing.
When I heard the news that we were number 18, I almost fainted, really. I was so happy and literally surprised that we had been able to move up quite as far as we have. We expected to move into the top 25, certainly, and felt like we had done very good work to make sure that that would happen. But to reach number 18 is a real achievement.
FSU's focus on graduating students in 4 years, retaining freshmen after their first year, and many other goals have led to the university's latest ranking. You can see more at news.fsu.edu. While FSU has the number 1 ranked graduation rate in the state and one of the top in the country, there are still some students who encounter unexpected challenges that derail their plans to earn a degree. But Florida State is doing its part to help a number of those students get back on track and earn degrees through a special program. FSU established the Graduation Planning and Strategies Office, also known as GPS for short, back in 2017. The idea behind it is simple: help students re-enroll and graduate after they have left the university without completing a degree. There's a variety of reasons why these students leave FSU without finishing, from finances to mental or physical health problems to natural disasters like hurricanes. The GPS staff helps students overcome these barriers and put them back on a path to graduation.
The stigma of what are my options for coming back and thinking I've already left Tallahassee, I've exhausted my financial aid, I can't return to my major. In partnership with the colleges and departments, we get really creative with students in what their options might be and try to give them as many options as possible. And so sometimes it is that they are able to return to classes in Tallahassee. Sometimes it's taking online classes, maybe CLEP exams, or they may get approval to finish off a few of their remaining courses at another institution. We're really trying to meet the student where they are and what their certain circumstances that led them to stopping out.
Earning a degree will have lifelong implications for these students. The Social Security Administration estimates over $400,000 more in lifetime earnings for a person with a college degree compared to a person who had some college but who left without a degree. You can learn more about the Graduation Completion Program at news.fsu.edu. The Robert O. Lawton Distinguished Professorship is the highest faculty honor that the Florida State faculty bestows upon one of its own. The award recognizes outstanding teaching, research, and mentorship. This year's winner was recently recognized in a special ceremony. Meet longtime FSU faculty member and accomplished chemist Tim Cross.
You might not expect to be averaged by this rotational motion. So I came out of a postdoc from UPenn and came down here and interviewed. I came into a very good chemistry and biochemistry department. I got a telephone call from Jack Crow saying, what about helping to write a grant proposal for the Magnet Lab? And that really changed my life. This was the opportunity to showcase a national facility for doing NMR and MRI research. And it has worked out that way. It's become a tremendously good facility that is respected by researchers around the world.
The tradition of Lawton professors at Florida State University are at the top of the list of faculty members we've had in just about every aspect, teaching, research, service, all of those things. And Tim Cross obviously is well suited to be a Lawton professor.
If you look at the long list of Lawton professors, you'll see extraordinary faculty members. We're really, really pleased that Tim has been chosen to join that great list.
I honestly really did not think that I would be the one chosen for the Lawton. It's such a high award out of so many faculty on campus. I would love to see the Lawton that I've gotten reflect on the department, the university environment. I collaborate with 3 or 4 faculty in different departments, such as mathematics and chemistry and physics. And so, that's, to me, that's what this is all about. It's not about me, it's about the team.
According to the National Science Foundation, more women graduate from college than men. But women earn only 19% of bachelor's degrees in the field of computer science. Florida State University researchers hope to eliminate that gender gap with an alternative career pathway, community college.
Community college is this really interesting space where there are more women in community college than men, and there has been a lot of growth around the country, including in Florida, in health fields as well as in computing more generally. And we've tended to not do much exploration of community college spaces, and most researchers tend to have come out of four-year colleges, highly selective four-year colleges, and those pathways, and community colleges and low-income students in general as a population are really important.
Professor Perez-Felkner will examine how community colleges could be a viable pathway for women to enter high-paying, high-demand computing fields such as computer science and IT. Her findings will be used to boost state and national efforts to create a more inclusive pool of computer scientists and technicians.
The more and more that we know about what's actually happening on the ground and the true skills and performance of girls and women who are taking these courses, that just really doesn't hold up. Girls are doing just as well, if not better, in a number of these courses when they have the opportunity to take them. And so it's very important for us to get the word out about the viability of this path for them, how girls and women absolutely can succeed in them. And actually they have been real success stories from the very early days of computing and computer science. And so we're hoping that this research will continue to shine a light on that.
Community colleges could help equalize one of the fastest growing and highest earning fields. With the right resources, the FSU researchers hope we'll see more women with computer science degrees. Retirement probably isn't on the minds of aspiring computer scientists currently studying at FSU, but there are some researchers thinking ahead for us. According to a new study out of Florida State University, retiring from your full-time job might not be the best for your aging brain. The researchers looked at years of data from older adults transitioning from work into retirement.
It used to be that you worked and then you stopped working and you didn't go back to work. More recently, there's much more movement in and out of the workforce, especially in later life, and it's very likely that will continue. So we were curious to see about cognitive function. So we know that working is good for your brain. People in their jobs, they function by doing complex calculations, talking to people, solving big problems. they're doing all kinds of things on a daily basis that uses their brain. And by removing the work lifestyle from their life, their brain changes how it's engaging in the world.
Carr noticed that people's cognitive function started to decline as soon as they stopped working. So, is retirement a no-win situation? Either people never stop working or let their brains pay the price. Professor Carr doesn't necessarily see it this way.
There's benefits to staying in the workforce longer, not just for financial reasons, but for cognitive reasons as well. And so for the average worker, this is maybe something they haven't thought a lot about. Not only should I work longer because there's benefits, well, maybe if you can't work longer, it's worth considering working part-time or continuing to stay engaged in paid work as long as possible. After age 70, there might be different reasons to work besides financial reasons. There's a lot of benefits people have from the social world that is their workplace. The everyday interactions that we have, we lose when we leave work. And that's challenging for a lot of people. So maintaining those social connections can be really important. And being able to continue to have problems to solve. We put a lot of meaning in our sense of identity based on the kind of work we do. And when we leave work, oftentimes that can be a struggle for our sense of meaning and purpose in life. And so part-time work provides that kind of continued buffer for maintaining those things without, while still providing some flexibility in everyday life.
And in some other research by Professor Carr, she's found that the companionship of a pet can actually buffer the effects of depression in older adults. Professor Carr examined depression symptoms and loneliness in people aged 50 or older who experience the loss of a spouse through death or divorce. Her findings suggest that people who do not own any pets experience more significant increases in depression symptoms and higher loneliness than those people with pets.
We found that anyone who had a loss did have, on average, an increase in depression, but the increase in depression was greater for the people who didn't have a pet than those who did. And so that says that it doesn't take away all of the challenging feelings that you have, but it can dampen them. And so it probably provided this benefit because it gave people the opportunity to have something to care for and to feel needed and to feel like they matter.
The research is confirming what many pet owners probably know firsthand. We share a unique emotional bond with all our pets. Well, still to come on this edition of FSU Headlines, we head to a special boot camp at FSU.
They get hands-on training with world-class experts in the industry, and they get to work on their venture pitches and do things that they wouldn't get to do just through an online program.
It's the Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for veterans families, and it's next on FSU Headlines.
At Florida State University, we're proving that students from all walks of life can achieve at the highest levels. We're proving that intellect, creativity, service, and daring matter. We're proving the next generation can do more than dream of a better world. They can make it happen. We are Florida State University.
When you buy a Florida State University license plate,
you're not just showing your school spirit.
You're supporting students like us.
In the lab,
in the classroom,
and in the library.
Putting this tag on your vehicle helps Florida State students achieve their dreams. So show your pride. Purchase an FSU license plate today.
Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker. Florida State University's Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship is one of the most extensive small business outreach programs in the nation. It serves small businesses and nonprofits throughout Florida year-round by offering world-class executive education training at little to no cost. And this world-renowned institute also does something pretty special for disabled veterans and veterans' families. They hold a boot camp style training session each year to help them start and run their own businesses. It's called the Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans Families. Check it out.
The Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans Families program is it's a great program. We bring in caregivers of veterans or family members and spouses of active duty to come in and really learn about entrepreneurship. Some of them already have businesses, some of them are in the ideation phase or have a nonprofit that they would like to start, and we just really take them to the next level.
My name is Killian Coward. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. My father is a disabled veteran or a Marine from the Vietnam War. We're starting a company together. It's going to be a federal contracting business called...
I'm so fortunate to have been accepted into the program. It's like really, it's first class. Like, it's been incredible. Feel empowered, like, you know, you're not alone in this. You've got a team behind you and they're willing to help. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like, they want to help, genuinely want to help.
I want to make sure that you have the best experience. This is a really unique program in that it allows caregivers and spouses of veterans to come in and get all the entrepreneurship training that they need in one stop.
We also need to think about...
We've had the opportunity to meet with different entrepreneurs in the community, and some came in and spoke to us yesterday, and so it's been amazing. All the resources that we've been exposed to, all the good folks that have their own businesses and want to grow them. And the thing that we have in common is the military background.
Focus on the most exciting part of my presentation, which is to learn about the financials.
You get hands-on training with world-class experts in the industry, and they get to work on their venture pitches and do things that they wouldn't get to do just through an online program or through something similar. So this is the kind of lasting legacy that FSU will have on their lives.
You go through a program like this, you realize that you can do it. You just have to have the right tools and the right people in place to get to that point. And that's what EBVF gives you.
We're always here because we're family.
The 5-day residential program was held at the Jim Moran Building in downtown Tallahassee. You can learn more about the Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans Families at news.fsu.edu. Back on the main Tallahassee campus, Florida State University recently hosted its very first Latinx cultural celebration. The event attracted students, faculty, and staff of all backgrounds to come together and celebrate Latinx culture. And this celebration was right on time, as Florida State was recently named an emerging Hispanic serving institution, with more than 20% of FSU's undergraduate population identifying as Latinx. The event is a chance to celebrate Latinx history, culture, and contributions right here on the FSU campus.
Welcome, though, seriously, to Florida State University's inaugural Latinx Cultural Celebration.
Our hope and desire is to bring our community together here on campus and the local community to really take a moment to reflect on the contributions, the presence, and the community aspect of sharing space with Latinx individuals throughout our history and throughout current times. I think it's very important for us to take a moment and look at almost a century of tradition and culture being present here, and how it shaped Florida State, how it shapes our education process, our programs, our curriculum, and our social environment as well. So I hope that we will be able to come together at Florida State University to think about our history, our shared goals today, and to engage in community together and building what that means together.
On the heels of that celebration, FSU played host to an important symposium to discuss ways it can continue to be one of the most diverse and inclusive campuses in the country. This is the second annual Directo Symposium, and its goal is for students, faculty, and staff to leave the event with tangible ways to incorporate diversity and inclusion into higher education life here at FSU. Watch this.
I always say our diversity is our strength, because I believe it is, and I see it in the world that we live in today. We have to understand why diversity is important, and we have to go out and be ambassadors for those kinds of roles.
It's a space for people to have candid and safe conversations about diversity and inclusion as it relates to higher education. Again, both in the way we teach and our research interests, and thinking about how we can continue to improve this area of interest in higher education.
without diversity and inclusion, then life is boring, okay? It's just boring, like no one cares, we're all the same. Like no one wants that, right? So by doing that, you're building a sense of community, right? People engage, teamworks work better, classes, faculty, businesses, it's shown the more diverse and inclusive businesses are, they have better profit margins, like they have better teamwork, like everything just works better seamlessly.
You may not realize this, but there are many people in the Tallahassee area continuing their education well past retirement. The Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at Florida State University has a core mission to help older adults continue to learn. OLLI, as it's known, provides classes and programs to help its members learn in a stress-free environment. There's no grades, no tests, no homework or reading. It's learning simply for the love of learning.
And this class is a sequel of sorts.
OLLI is about the most fun anybody over 50 can have in this town. It's an offering of over 100 courses and activities every single year, all of them specially tailored for lifelong learners. That's people who love to learn but don't want the stress of regular classrooms. So no homework, no tests, no required reading, and most important, no grades.
It's a wonderful organization. It's been a wonderful experience for me. It's kept me thinking, and that's the good thing about it.
It's a fantastic experience. I really enjoyed the first time I did it, so that's why I'm doing it a second time. It's rewarding in so many ways, including, I learn so much from the students in the class. They have a wealth of experience they bring.
Yes, it's always a new experience, and that's why I love it. That's what works for me.
OLLI has been recognized by the Florida legislature for its leadership in engaging older Floridians and enriching lives. To learn more, visit olli.fsu.edu. And coming up next on FSU Headlines, we head to the field and to the court to catch up on FSU sports.
Warnabrook looks, throws a deep fade right down the sideline. Open receiver, caught ball, touchdown FSU, touchdown Florida State.
The heart of the fall season is underway when FSU Headlines continues in a moment. Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker. We're inside the William Johnston building here on the main campus, and not far away, FSU Headlines reporter Mark Vaughn is standing by to break down an exciting fall sports season. Mark, how are the teams doing around campus?
Hey Dennis, the fall sports teams, well, they're in the heart of their seasons, all doing pretty well, and there are a few other teams that are about to gear up for their seasons. The Florida State Seminoles football team in the heart of a tough ACC schedule in October. After a tough start to the year with the Hurricane moving that first game against Boise State, they ended up with a couple of losses, but the Noles picked up some much-needed wins in the ACC over a tough Louisville team and also NC State. That's showing signs of some progress for a team that's now into its second season under head football coach Willie Taggart.
Well, you're always evaluating your team. You got to always evaluate it and make sure you got the right guys in there. And if guys continue to make mistakes, shame on you if you allow them to continue to play. But you're always evaluating your roster and making sure that you do the right thing for your team and going to put you in the best position to win.
Over to the soccer pitch, and the Noles are looking like a team from just a year ago in many ways. Experienced, determined, and quite frankly, dominant. FSU starting the year at #1 before a couple of losses out in California early in the season dropped them just a few spots in the rankings, but not in play. The Noles playing well in conference. Of course, that matters most at this point of the season. FSU going 4-0 to begin the conference schedule and looking to finish the month of October on a win streak as they prepare for the postseason. The FSU volleyball team also on the court in this October. The team already with a huge upset earlier in the season, taking down #3 Minnesota. They played 3 top 12 teams before making it into ACC play. And what a tough ACC it's going to be again this year. The Noles dropping a tough 4-set loss to #4 Pittsburgh, their 4th top-ranked team already this season. After wins over Duke, Wake, and Virginia, they are off to a good start in the ACC. The road won't get any easier, but the Noles look up to the challenge this year. The regular season goes all the way through the end of November, and you can see more on Seminoles.com. And can you believe it's already time to talk about basketball? Well, it is. Coach Sue Simrau and crew already in the gym getting ready for the 2019-2020 season. The Noles coming off a solid year just a year ago, going 24-9 and making it to the second round of the NCAA Women's Tournament. That with a young team, young roster just a year ago. Now those players enjoying some experience and, of course, motivation to win more and go farther in the tournament. All right, that's going to do it for this sports update, but remember, you can catch up with all things Seminole athletics by visiting Seminoles.com. Dennis, back to you.
All right, thanks, Mark, for that sports update. Florida State University's marching chiefs are world-renowned for producing a grand wall of sound. And now the famed band is forever immortalized on the wall of FSU's historic Heritage Museum. It's a one-of-a-kind stained glass window that reflects all eras of the Chiefs since the program first began more than 60 years ago. Watch this.
Here's a hymn to the garnet and the gold.
We're here to celebrate the marching chiefs, and we have some of them here with us. We're so proud. It'd be hard to get all of them in here, about 400, I think, right? It'd be hard to do that. But how much they mean to the university. We're here today, though, to recognize an important part, the marching chiefs have played in really the evolution of Florida State University and the positive impact that they've had on the Seminoles for so many years. I again want to thank Flo for her gift. Her love of Florida State runs deep, and I know everybody in here appreciates everything you've done.
Now add my gratitude for all of you being here, and especially Master Craftsmen. You all were wonderful, and this is exactly what I had in mind, so I am thrilled.
That's going to do it for this edition of FSU Headlines, but you can see more news from Florida State University anytime on the university's official news website, news.fsu.edu. For everyone here at Florida State University, I'm Dennis Schnitker. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.